Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Aquarian Mind podcast. Today's podcast, episode number 233. I'm your host, Jamel Crothers. It's Wednesday motivation and inspiration, and you guys know I'm always coming with something great to talk about on Motivation Wednesday. So, today I'm going to tell you guys something that you all need to hear. You are not a failure. Failure is not the end of everything, but the beginning of a successful life. Now, excuse me. Now, this topic is important, and I want to tackle this subject with a high degree of sensitivity. And I want to go in depth with how and why I went about this podcast, and I want to explain what I mean by saying you are not a failure, because this can get misinterpreted or misconstrued. And what I'm saying is you are not a failure because you haven't figured life out yet. And if you listen to my podcast on Monday, where I talked about my writing journey starting in my 30s, I went in depth about how it takes time to figure out our purpose in life. And our lives have different directions and journeys that we go on. It's never a straight path, no matter how much we would like it to be. And it's not reality, and in all honesty, we have to accept that life is just not a straight path all the time. It's ziggly lines and up, down, left, and right. And when I say that you're not a failure, I mean in finding your passion and purpose in life at an early age. So I talked about that on Monday, and I don't want any of you to feel that you should have your life figured out right away. Because honestly, my life wasn't figured out, and I don't expect yours to be. And it took me a long time to figure out what my purpose is in life. It wasn't until my 30s where things clicked for me. And some of you will figure it out earlier or later in life. But just know that if you're determined to figure things out, it will come to you when the time is right. And I don't want to say when you least expect it, because it's more of timing and knowing something in your mind, heart, and soul. So you're not a failure if you chase a passion and it doesn't work out the way you want it to. I chased a passion for 10 years before I realized it wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. And it's okay to do things and then know it's time to change course or change the direction of your life. And it's okay to change careers at any given time and see if it works out for you. And I'll give you like a really good example. I was reading a story on social media about a young woman who she went into her family's very cultured, and they had all these expectations of her to have this great career and make all this money and all that stuff, right? And she went that route. The only thing was that when she went that route, she was unhappy. She wasn't fulfilled. She didn't feel that she had purpose in what she was doing in her life. And that's where you lose yourself a lot. When you're doing something for others, or you're doing something just to be doing it, and that's where the unhappiness will kick in all the time. So what happened was she got to a place where she was just tired of doing what she was doing. And she was making a ton of money, but as they say, money doesn't determine your happiness, to be brutally honest. And what she decided to do was to leave the career that she was in think she was an engineer, from what I read. And once she decided to leave engineering, she decided that she wanted to do what she's always wanted to do, which was have a dance career. And she left where she was living. She moved to Florida, and she opened a dance studio. It took her a while, obviously, to build a community, and she started, having classes and, teaching people how to be free and to dance and to enjoy life and to feel fulfilled. And the beauty of the story is that she's very happy and she's very fulfilled in her life. And she didn't do that until she was in her 40s. So you're not a failure if you're doing work and you're constantly in motion of trying to understand yourself and who you are and, what the universe wants from you to give to this world. Because we all have gifts, and I say that all the time. We all have talents and gifts. There are people that I know personally that don't believe that they have talents and gifts and things of that nature, but the reality of it is we all do. So it's okay to fail at a few things and know that you've tried than to not have tried at all. And there are stories of companies failing multiple times before they found success. And there are entrepreneurs who didn't succeed right away, and it took them years before they found their niche. So we all will fail at things, and you will do great in your next ventures. But I need you all to not doubt yourself. I need you guys all to know that you are capable of success in life, and that you can do whatever you put your mind, heart, and soul into. I put my mind, heart, and soul into certain things, and it didn't work out. And that's okay. Because if I didn't do all that stuff, it wouldn't have led me to where I am now. And believe it or not, you will go through your journey in life, and a lot of the things that you do will prepare you for the next step in your life and what you're supposed to be doing. What I mean by that is all of the things that I did in my 20s and all of the different jobs I've had prepared me for what I'm doing now. There are jobs that prepared me to be able to speak on a podcast the way I am. Jobs that prepared me to speak in front of people, because certain jobs required me to speak in front of people on a daily basis and deal with people. People don't realize that, when you're a basketball referee, it's not just controlling the game and making sure the game flows efficiently with your partner, but it's a lot of communication. It's communication with players and team captains and coaches and the scores table and, beginning of the season, like explaining to teams the rules and the guidelines and, how to email the company and, how to ask questions and decorum and all of that, right? So it's way more with being a basketball referee than people think. It's the same thing as a football referee, a soccer referee, whatever. You're in constant communication with people. You have to be personable, and you have to be willing to answer questions, and you have to be able to have conversations and not get caught up in your ego because someone is upset that you missed a call or anything of that nature. We're human beings and we're not perfect, but I'm just using that as an example. I've seen people, try to start businesses and it didn't work out the way they wanted it to, but they bounced back and they figured it out. I've seen people be in corporate America and leave it and decide to, really pursue a passion in what they want to do. And now I see people that are podcasters talking sports, and that's their love and that's their passion. And it's not a job to them. It's fun and it's exciting. So when I do this podcast, this is fun and exciting for me. I don't put ads. You know why? Because I don't care about getting paid for ads on a podcast. Because I don't even want to listen to ads when I'm listening to a podcast. So why would I put on ads to try to make money? This is not about money for me all the time. This is about passion. And this is about my love for what I do. And I'm not getting paid millions of dollars. And I really don't really care to be a millionaire. I just care to live comfortably and be able to experience life the way I'd like to. And I'd like to live my life a certain way, live my life on my own terms. So, did all of my experiences in my 20s make me a failure? No. I was just trying to figure it out. And I want you guys to be motivated and inspired to figure it out for yourselves too. And don't feel like by a certain month or year or age that you have to have it figured out. You don't. As they always say, tell God your plans and he'll laugh. And he's probably laughed at me quite a few times. But hey, it doesn't hurt to have those thoughts and those goals that you have in mind. I want you guys to stay motivated no matter how many times you fall on your butt. I want you guys to have someone that's there to grab your hand and pick you up and wipe the dirt off and say, you're good. It's on to the next. And let's figure this out. And sometimes we do need to take breaks, but we don't need to take extended breaks because then the lackadaisical mindset kicks in. We don't want that. So what I mean by you're not a failure, it means that as long as you're trying and as long as you are putting in consistent effort and you're staying disciplined to your craft or to whatever you want to do with your life or whatever you're passionate for, then you're one step closer to where you're supposed to be. You're one step closer to figuring out your purpose and passion. You're one step closer to living a fulfilling life because that's what we're meant to do while we're here. And with that said, that's my podcast for today. I thank you guys for listening as always. Be good, everyone, and go accomplish your goals.